Hello, my name is Zero, and welcome to the explanation of my previous trolling video. What I'm going to be explaining today is why Skagg is stupid. That's pretty much all I can think of right now. I mean, look at what he's doing. He's oversimplifying every argument I've ever said and twisting it to his own whim just so that he can prove me wrong. Don't believe me, or you don't agree with me? Here's an example. I said that what Burnsy did was wrong, but that he doesn't deserve as much flack as he's getting because it happened 3 years ago, and because compared to what the kid did, it's not that bad. That's my argument. It's still bad, it's still wrong, but when you compare it to the circumstances and look at the circumstances, what he did is not as bad as everyone's trying to make it out to be. This does not mean I think that what he did was right. I still think what he did was out of line. But I also realize that it's better to look at the main issue than to bitch and moan and make a mountain out of a molehill, which is him being verbally abrasive towards the kid for maybe 2 or 3 seconds. Because the kid messed with his personal life, releases information to the public and his parent, well, specifically his parents' information, and threatened his parents for, I'd say, if I remember correctly, I think it was over a week, maybe? Several days at least. I'll tell you one thing, if that happened to me, I'd be pissed. I'd probably say even worse things. That would piss me off so bad. And I know it's wrong, but that would still piss me off. And I would still act in a human way and react with anger, because that would piss me off. Okay? I love my family. I don't want some bratty little kid fucking with them and frightening them by getting their friends to call them and threatening them. And I don't think Burnsy really liked that either. That's why my argument is, what Burnsy did is wrong, but really we shouldn't be focusing on that because that's nothing compared to what the kid did. Also, my last argument, and I know for a fact that Skagg is going to say that I'm contradicting myself here, is why are we even talking about this 3 years later? Why are we even arguing about this? If there's one thing you're right about Skagg the whole time, it's that there's no point in arguing about this right now. Okay? How much of a life do you lack to dig up little bits and go fossil digging to dig up dirt on someone you don't like? You must really, really lack a life if you're doing that. And considering the fact that you reply to me within 2 or 3 seconds, or within a minute, almost every single time, just goes to show how much of a life you lack. Okay? And yes, I can make that argument that you lack a life. I can make that argument. It's a free country, so fuck it. I make that argument. I'm putting that out there. You obviously lack a life if you're continuously commenting about something that happened 3 years ago. Okay? That's why I don't think that this issue is all that big a deal. That was the whole point, why I downplayed that in the first video. It was not to say that what Burnsy did was right. It was to say, hey, look, Burnsy reacted like a normal human would. He reacted to a threat with anger and with equivalent violence, although verbally. It was only for 3 seconds that he did so, but he got mad and he reacted. Not that big a deal. People lose their tempers all the time. It's a natural occurrence for humans to lose their temper when they get mad. And that's exactly what happened. He lost his temper. He got mad at the kid, and he said something that he probably regrets. That is what happened. What the kid did was far worse. The kid doxed him, the kid threatened his parents, and I think that we should be focusing on that rather than something someone said 3 years ago for like 3 seconds. Okay? That was what the first video meant. It was not saying what Burnsy did was right. I was not trying to say that Burnsy was completely correct in what he did. Although I did say in the first video that But I did say in the first video that I probably would have done the same, and that maybe the kid even kind of deserved it because of how much of a brat the kid was acting like. Maybe he kind of got what was coming to him. Doesn't mean that what Burnsy did was right. Just because someone gets, someone gets their just desserts doesn't mean the person dishing it out isn't at fault. Okay? So Skagg, it's your choice. Ball's in your court. I partially agree with you, but I think that this issue is best left untouched because it's kind of retarded to dig something out 3 years ago. It's your choice now. Do you still want to argue with me? Do you still want to act butthurt and try to prove me wrong when there's not much to prove me wrong about? I agree with half of what you're saying. The other half I don't really agree with, which is where you say that that Burnsy is super wrong and you imply that Burnsy is like is the devil or something, where you go after it and you pursue it with such a butthurt magnificence it's almost astounding. It's your choice. Do you want to continue this? Do you want to do the debate? I'm waiting on your word. Do you want to debate over this? There's not much to debate about anymore. You can still say you want to debate about what I said in the first video, but that's just picking it apart. That's not really debating. That's picking it apart and ripping into my video. Debating about someone else's argument and having that be the main topic is called nitpicking, and it's also called bashing. That doesn't work. So if you want to debate about that, then you're going to find out, you're going to get a nasty surprise. I'm not going to sit by and let you rip into me so passively. I want to debate, not a gank spank. I want to debate, not an insult, butthurt, retard fest. Okay? Your choice. Do you want to debate still? Or do you want to leave it as is and agree to disagree? Your decision. I'm totally up for debate if you still want to do it. I'm leaving the ball in your court because honestly, I don't really give a fuck. Well, I guess that's it for the video. You guys want to comment and still be butter in the comments, go ahead. I'll still keep responding. I'm not going to stand by and let some butthurt social justice warriors comment all over my comments on my video and generally fill the comments with retardation. I'm still going to respond. But as for the debate, that's up to Skagg. So for those of you who are looking forward to see my amazing defeat at the wonderful and dexterous verbose skills of your butt buddy Skagg, you might be up for disappointment. Just saying.